All right, welcome. Today, we are breaking down a really huge shift in global finance. We're going to take a close look at China's new digital currency and ask the big question. Is this the thing that finally starts to challenge the US dollar's dominance? So let's just dive right into the core issue, the question that's on the mind of pretty much every serious investor right now. We're not just talking about some new digital coin here. We're talking about a potential tipping point for the entire global financial system. That buzzword you keep hearing, de-dollarization? Well, this could be where it gets real. To really get what's at stake here, we first have to look at this growing trend of countries trying to move away from relying so much on the US dollar. For a long, long time, this was mostly just talk, theoretical stuff. But the ground is definitely, and I mean definitely, starting to shift beneath our feet. Yeah, what used to be just theory is now becoming very, very tangible. We're seeing conversations that were happening behind closed doors turn into actual public policy and major international agreements. These aren't just small changes, they're actively shaking up the financial world as we know it. And look, this shift isn't happening because of just one thing. It's more like a combination of powerful forces all coming together. You've got new geopolitical alliances forming, you're seeing huge commodity deals, we're talking oil, gas, you name it, being priced in other currencies, and there's this very clear, very active search by a lot of nations for an alternative to the whole dollar-based system. And right at the center of this whole whirlwind, you guessed it, China. And they've been quietly developing this powerful new tool that just so happens to fit perfectly into this changing landscape. It's not a missile, it's not a battleship, it's a piece of financial technology, the Digital Yuan, or the e-CNY. But you gotta understand, the e-CNY is so much more than just digital money for you to go shopping with. No, this thing was designed from the ground up with a massive global ambition. Think of it as a state-issued digital currency that's been engineered to create a brand new infrastructure for international trade. An infrastructure that, of course, China would control. And they aren't just throwing this out there and hoping it catches on. Oh no, China is running a very clear, multi-step playbook to take this thing global. Step 1, get its own 1.4 billion people using it. Done. Step 2, integrate it with its huge network of Belt and Road partner countries. Step 3, and this is the really crucial part, use it to make trade happen without SWIFT. SWIFT is that global messaging system that underpins basically all international banking today. And the endgame? Well, a direct challenge to the dollar's dominance. Now, this is where the story takes a really fascinating, almost paradoxical turn, because it involves a technology that China has actually officially banned for its own citizens. It's a true head-scratcher, but you have to understand it to see their global strategy. So how on earth can a nation that outlawed crypto be one of its biggest champions? Well, the answer is simple. They separated the speculative assets, like Bitcoin, from the incredible technology that powers them. So while China cracked down hard on crypto trading, it's been aggressively exploring and adopting the underlying tech. You might have heard of it. It's called Distributed Ledger Technology, or DLT. It's basically the secure, shared database that makes crypto possible. Okay, so what's the practical implication of all this? Here it is. By combining their digital yuan with the tech behind crypto, China can build a completely new highway for global trade. A deal between two countries could happen directly, almost instantly, be totally traceable, and, here's the kicker, it would never have to touch a US dollar or go through the SWIFT network. It completely bypasses the old system. And this opens up a pretty radical possibility that financial experts are now taking very seriously. We could start to see certain international trade deals, let's say for oil between two friendly nations, being settled directly in new kinds of digital assets, completely outside the traditional financial system. It's a wild thought. So let's bring it back home. What does all this mean for you? Because believe me, this isn't just some abstract geopolitical chess game. It has profound real-world implications for the future of money and how we value pretty much everything, from currencies to commodities to stocks. The very foundations of global finance are shifting, and understanding these changes is no longer optional. This isn't about wild speculation. It's about recognizing that the fundamental plumbing of the world economy is being rerouted as we speak. So, what should you be watching? Here are the specific signals to keep on your radar. First, watch the adoption rate of the e-CNY in those Belt and Road countries. Keep an eye out for news on new tech partnerships for this DLT integration. Track the volume of oil and other big commodities being traded outside the dollar. And finally, pay close attention to when other central banks around the world announce their own digital currencies. Ultimately, this all leads us to one final, really critical question, and only you can answer it. The era of a single, dominant financial system might just be coming to an end. So the question is no longer if things are changing. The real question is, how do we prepare and adapt to a world where financial power is much, much more distributed?